guys! I'm figured since I'm doing this cosplay survival guide, I might as well just make an introduction section, like, about the author, so you guys can get to know me and you can understand where I'm coming from when I say most of the stuff I'm saying, and just so you can get to know something about me, basically. But it's, in the end, it's gonna be me doing one of those cosplay memes. Dual purpose! Yay! But, yes. Alright, so first off, I might as well just introduce myself. I'm Robin. I typically go by the name Condescending on most cosplay sites like CosCom, American Cosplay Paradise, and stuff like that. But I also go by Yoton on DeviantArt because I've had that name longer than I've been cosplaying, and I've had it since I was a wee little geek. I'm also one half of the Fairy Runes cosplaying duo with my girlfriend Trish. We're basically unheard of because, you know, we're hipsters like that. But it's basically just a website, a Facebook thing for our costuming stuff, so I don't get a whole bunch of odd requests on my personal Facebook. You know how that goes. Yeah. How did you get into cosplay? I got into cosplay the same year I got into con going, way back in high school. Oh god, I sound so old saying that. But way back in high school, I had lunch with a friend, and she knew I was into, like, Lord of the Rings and comic books and nerdy stuff like that, and she was like, hey, you know, Labor Day weekend, there's this really awesome convention downtown called Dragon Con, and, you know, they always do stuff like that. They dress up in weird costumes and cool stuff like that, and I really think you should go. And I was like, oh, okay. And she just happened to tell this to me when I had, you know, dressed up for Halloween and other various things as things like Mary from Lord of the Rings and Digimon characters, and I was like, wow, other people do this? I'm not completely bonkers? That's awesome. And since then, that's how I got into cosplay. How long have I been cosplaying? Since the same con, Dragon Con 2003, I met this amazing group at the convention, and I've been back every year since with them because they're some of my best friends, and I love them all dearly. I'm an entertainer at heart, so dressing up and making people smile, it's the best feeling for me. And, well, I'm still on the lower end of the age bracket for Dragon Con, so I'm probably going to be going to that and cosplaying for quite a bit longer, which makes me happy. 4. How many cosplays have you done? I actually had to count this beforehand, and I might have missed a few, but at least 35. And that's not counting all the costumes I've done for everyone else, which brings the count up to 48. And that's a lot, now that I think about it. Ugh, what have I done with my time? Awesome things, that's what. 5, how do you get your costumes? Mostly, I make them myself. I've only ever commissioned one costume, and it ended up huge on me. So since then, I got my mom to teach me how to make my own, and she helped me with my first couple ones because, you know, I'm horrible at straight lines and drawing, so I thought I was going to suck at this, but it turns out I didn't. Still can't cut very well. Probably from my shaky hands, but you know. Sometimes I'll thrift stuff depending on what the costume is. If it's like a t-shirt and jeans, why the hell do I need to, you know, make my own jeans or a button down when I can easily just find them? Like this, my civilian Wally from Young Justice, it's a t-shirt, a button down, and a pair of jeans. Though I did modify the button down so it would actually fit me once I found the right color. So it's a mix, depending. 6, what is my first cosplay? Why did I choose it, and how do I feel about it? My first cosplay was actually Mary Brandybuck from Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings was my favorite book series growing up, and my first con was around the time of the movies were coming out. So So, despite the fact the first year was just hilariously thrifted, like a green, oversized suit coat and some corduroy brown pants that I cut off at the knee, didn't even bother the hem, and some yellow vest that I found, it was probably one of the best times I've ever had at con. That was the con that got me hooked. And I met some of my best and greatest friends because of it. And so that costume will always have a place in my heart. And it's why the very next year, that was the first costume I sewed by myself. And I plan on wearing that again soon, especially since the Hobbit movie's coming out this year. Finally! 7. What is my favorite cosplay and why? My favorite costume has to be my Amikomi Robin right now. I get so many compliments for it, and it really helped me get over a lot of the body issues I've been having since I was young. I didn't think I would look good in spandex, and, you know, having that costume is just my pride and joy, because it's the first time I actually drafted my own pattern. I made the extension for the wig, the red one. I made the staff, which is easy, so that doesn't really matter. But I also, first time working with spandex. And, well, successfully working with spandex. And so, the costume is really my baby right now. 8. What is your favorite thing about cosplaying? Making other people smile. Like I said earlier, I'm an entertainer at heart, is what I do, and I love meeting new people. Especially those that have similar interests. Most of my friends, even my girlfriend, I met through cosplaying in some way or another, which is pretty awesome. Because otherwise I would just be a hermit and I would be lonely. Yeah. 9. Got a cosplay pet peeve? If yes, what is it? I've got several. Like everybody. Most of them are basic things though, like not binding when you're cosplaying or wearing platforms to cosplay taller characters. Trust me when I say this, guys, people would much rather see a really, really awesome short version of a character than someone who's wearing stripper boots to be the accurate height. And, you know. Another thing would be nuding out your lips for cosplay. It's just like one of my own personal pet peeves, because the reason why our lips are pink in the first place is because there's blood there. If you nude out your lips, it doesn't make you look more manly, it makes you look dead. So, before you slather on the concealer next time you want to look cosplay and you do your cosplay makeup, instead, get a very, very matte, natural color that's maybe just a couple shades darker than your skin, but still pink, and use that instead. You can look at any celebrity right now, and a guy celebrity, and you can see that their lips, though paler than ours, are actually... My cat's voicing his complaints right now, I'm sorry. They actually have pink lips. They're paler than ours, maybe they're not more feminine. If you do have really feminine lips, you can, you know, change the shape of your lips, but don't slather it fully in concealer. You can actually see it in the BBC Sherlock. They actually nude out Sherlock's lips occasionally. And you can see the difference that it makes. So, yes. Also, iron your stuff, for the love of God. Nothing ruins a costume more than it being so wrinkled because you just got done with it and you threw it in your bag and you went off to the con. Or, you know, still having the fold lines from where you bought it in the dealer's room. I've seen both. Mostly the latter, which is just really funny. 10. Are you particularly famous in the cosplay convention world? What kind of question is this? I don't know about that, but a lot of people who I have never met before apparently know who I am, and I've been featured on sites like Maxim and Best Cosplay Ever this week and stuff like that, and I've been in the news, and I've actually been featured in the Dragon Con commercials occasionally, which I did not know, plus a few interviews at cons I've done. If I'm famous, I don't know it. but stranger things have honestly happened. 11. What was your biggest cosplay disaster? I've had several, mostly working on stuff last minute for friends with little time and no help, and that's why I stopped doing commissions for friends who are not willing to help me. My worst personal cosplay disaster would have been my Poison Ivy costume. I had no freaking clue what I was doing, and I tried to modify a wedding dress corset pattern into a bodysuit, and this was before those bodysuit patterns were available, so it just failed miserably. I had no clue about a lot of things back then. And so that's why I am never bringing that costume out. It's never going to see the light of day again. Unless I get talked into remaking it. Which I might anyway, just to prove that, I don't fail. 13. Which cosplay would you like to do again? There's quite a few that I would like to do again, actually. Right now, mostly it's Puck from Gargoyles. I don't care how old the series is or how little I get recognized. When I do get recognized, it's awesome. People are just so excited to see something from their childhood, especially if they're closer to my age. Oh god, I sound really old saying that again. And I still need to do a proper photo shoot with him. Plus, he's where I got the namesake Robin from. Yes, it's not my real name, but I prefer it to my real name. Plus, don't judge me. 14. What is your least favorite thing about conventions? My least favorite thing would probably have to be all the immaturity I've run into. It's like, just because this is a safe place doesn't mean you get to act like a wild animal for 3 or 4 days. No regard for others. Screaming memes at all hours, glomping people who, with no warning, and who clearly don't want to be glomped. Yowie paddles, shrieking like banshees. I mean, seriously? Really? I know you guys are capable of acting like reasonable people in the real world. Why don't you act like it at cons? It's possible to have fun without the so random, yay, stuff and, ruining other people's day. I've heard of so many stories of people getting hurt, people's costumes getting destroyed because some jerk didn't have any concern for anybody but themselves. I mean, I understand getting excited. We're fans. This is what fans do. But for the love of God, people, consider the people around you. Also, hygiene. But I'll be covering that actually in the con survival guide. So, that's something to look forward to. Tell me about your most recent cosplay. Considering my most recent cosplay was Carrie Kelly, which is just basically reused my Dick Grayson costume for and styled my hair. I'll talk about my Tinkerbell, which is not Tinkerbell from Disney. It's the Tinkerbell from Hook, because for years now I've been told I look like Julia Roberts. I get it all the time. She's like my celebrity doppelganger or something. I've always been a huge fan of Peter Pan. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. I used to have the books. I've actually cosplayed Peter Pan. You know how it is. It's one of my favorite stories. Plus, I like fairies and fairy stuff, and I've always wanted to cosplay a fairy, hence the name Robin, again, relating back to the Fae and Puck. So I figured, why not combine the two, because, I've always been told that I should cosplay Julia Roberts' Tinkerbell from Hook. And this is the year that I make that happen. So it's just relatively simple. It's just a pair of suede shorts and a suede top, and then orange and turquoise leather strips for lacings, and then the wings, which is going to be fun because it's my first time making a prop like that. But I've got a plan for it involving like 20 gauge wire, foil tape, and clear cellophane. Hopefully it'll work out the way I want it to. It's gonna be awesome. I hope to have that done within the next month or so look forward to that. Let me see here. My thing broke. Won't let me go down anymore. Is it the end? Oh, that's the end. And that's really all I have for you guys. You get a feel for me and the type of person that I am, but not really as far as cosplay goes. I should be getting done with the introduction to the cosplay survival guide, not cosplay, the con survival guide within the next week or so. I've already got everything written up and I know what I'm doing, and I've just never edited video before, so this was a test run of that, plus, you know. Alright, so I'll see you in a week or so, guys. Bye!